I'm meteorologist Andrew Humphrey. Wind advisory still in effect for Detroit and all of southeast Michigan. And we have snow squalls still out there. Bottom line, it is windy, snowy, and getting colder. I'll cover all of it in your weather forecast first at 4. Karen?
All right, Andrew, we're also tracking the latest investigations around the Oxford school shooting. I'll have an update on where things stand at this hour in the criminal cases against the accused shooter and his parents. Paula.
Karen, we're talking about mental health services, particularly for juveniles in Michigan. The numbers are dire. Wait until you see how many beds are available for troubled children. More importantly, Karen, how many beds are not available.
Actor Jussie Smollett takes the stand to face allegations of a hate crime hoax. We'll talk about some of his testimony. First at 4 starts now.
Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, we are keeping an eye on those high winds, the snow squalls. DTE says it has crews on standby for potential outages. Now, the power company says it already has additional workers from outside of our area ready to respond. DTE is also warning you to stay at least 20 feet from any downed power line. And if you lose power, never use a portable generator inside your home or business. It does emit carbon monoxide. Keep generators outside and away from windows and doors. Let's get to meteorologist Andrew Humphrey. So what are we seeing right now?
Karen, some excellent advice you gave right there, and we're still seeing that wind advisory in effect for Detroit and all of southeast Michigan. So heed all those warnings, take all those pieces of advice or tips if you have power outages in your neighborhood. Look at the wind speeds right now, anywhere from 22 miles per hour over at Metro Airport to 25 miles per hour over in Pontiac. And the gusts are even higher, near 40 miles per hour. Some of the highest gusts we've seen so far have been over 70 miles per hour. On top of that, it is slippery and messy in some places with these snow squalls that are still across the area. Here in parts of Macomb County, including right around Mount Clemens. This one here just traveled over Lake St. Clair. You have others that are closer to Detroit and here in Wayne County. These darker areas of blue in particular, you can see that here right over 96. So it can suddenly reduce visibility down to near zero and make a mess of area roads. Those are things, of course, to watch out for if you happen to be traveling as we go through this afternoon or evening. And temperatures continue to plummet. We're now in the low 30s. How much lower do those temperatures go? We'll talk more about that in tonight's forecast, and I've got your 7-day forecast in minutes.
All right, thanks, Andrew. Well, the mourning process continues for families of those lost in the shooting at Oxford High School. At this hour, a visitation is underway for 16-year-old Tate Meir. He's one of the 4 students who died after the shooting last Tuesday. He's being remembered today at Kensington Church over on Lapeer Road. Today's service runs through 8 p.m. and there will be further visitation tomorrow morning before a funeral service that starts at noon. As family and friends come forward, we continue to honor the lives of all of the victims. 17-year-old Justin Schilling, 14-year-old Hannah St. Juliana, and 17-year-old Madison Baldwin, as well as Tate Meir. 4 young lives lost far too soon. The young man accused of shooting 11 people inside Oxford High remains inside the Oakland County Jail, along with his parents. 15-year-old Ethan Crumbley has been charged as an adult with several crimes, including first-degree murder. Now, his parents, James and Jennifer Crumbley, are in the same jail after being taken into custody early Saturday morning. 7 people are recovering from injuries suffered during the shooting. Today, 1 victim remains hospitalized. Our Sean Lay is focusing on what could happen next for James and Jennifer Crumbley.
The Local 4 defenders were learning this afternoon that more charges could be coming for the parents of accused Oxford school shooter Ethan Crumbley. Here's what we know right now. The parents were arrested after a manhunt that lasted until Saturday morning. The Crumbleys were arrested after they were charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter each for allegedly furnishing the firearm used in the school shooting to their son. Sources telling us this afternoon the couple may also face federal gun charges. Federal prosecutors looking into the potentially illegal transfer of the handgun bought by James Crumbley to a minor, and that would be his son, Ethan Crumbley. That type of transfer is against federal law. Much more coming up at 5 o'clock.
All right, thank you, Sean. Finally, a Detroit area artist is reportedly cooperating with authorities and says he did not know the Crumbleys were apparently on the run. The couple was found inside a building linked to the artist. Now, so far, no word on any charges against him. The Crumbleys' attorney has denied they were on the run, saying they plan to turn themselves in. Well, a young girl is recovering right now from her injuries after being shot inside of her Detroit home. Police say the 4-year-old was on the couch upstairs when bullets were fired into that house. It happened on Woodingham near McNichols and Livernois on the city's west side. The child is hospitalized in stable condition at this hour. Right now, no word on suspects. We're working the story and we'll update you as we learn more. Okay, let's turn to the coronavirus. Travelers now facing new international restrictions. And we did just receive some new numbers from the state of Michigan. The health department says it recorded more than 16,000 cases over the past 3 days. That is a daily average of about 5,500. The 7-day positivity rate has now reached 20%, up from last week. And the deaths of 127 additional Michiganders have also been linked to the virus. Kimberly Gill in the newsroom with more COVID-19 headlines on our Monday. Kim.
Karen, good afternoon. Countries around the world are stepping up their response to COVID-19 as they keep an eye on the newest Omicron variant. That variant has not been confirmed in Michigan yet, but we know it could happen here in the near future. Meanwhile, those tighter restrictions have gone into effect for international travelers trying to enter the United States. Now all visitors must show proof of a negative COVID test within 1 day of their departure, as part of President Biden's plan to slow the spread of the Omicron variant, even as we wait to get a better handle on just how dangerous it might be. The U.S. also has a travel ban in place for South Africa and several neighboring countries, and the president has also extended a face mask mandate on buses, trains, and domestic flights through March. We're also seeing COVID crackdowns in Europe. Italy will no longer allow people who are unvaccinated into indoor restaurants, theaters, and museums. Italian commuters must have a health pass proving vaccination status or a negative test result to use public transportation through January 15th. In Belgium, hundreds of people marched through the streets of Brussels to protest tighter COVID restrictions there. Demonstrators carried signs critical of vaccines and vaccine mandates. Belgium has seen a COVID surge that's straining health services, delaying treatment for other diseases, including cancer. Meanwhile, New York City is requiring all private employers to get their workers vaccinated. Mayor Bill de Blasio just issued the most sweeping vaccine mandate in any state or big city in the U.S. The mayor says he expects the mandate will survive any legal challenges. Employees will be able to ask for religious or medical exemptions, though. That's all we have for now. Karen, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right. Thank you very much, Kim.
Sure.
Now back to our top story today. The trauma of the Oxford school shooting has really rippled across Metro Detroit in the past week. And then on top of that, we've learned there's actually a shortage of mental health professionals just when people are looking for ways to cope. Paula Tutman joins us live this afternoon with really how bad this shortage is. Paula?
Yeah, it really is. But first of all, let's just talk about mental health to begin with. I mean, there's a range, everywhere from anxiety to depression, all the way up to willing and able to do harm to self and others. So I printed this chart out because experts were telling me that when you talk about that range, most people generally fall into that struggling or coping, that just kind of into that area, and they just need tools to help them cope. But in Michigan, finding those tools to help can be very challenging. It could be a sign of the times, really as common as that sign right there. While we're accustomed to seeing these kinds of help wanted signs on every corner of every Michigan city, the shingle for mental health practitioners may not be as obvious, but the need is just as acute. Right now, today, there are estimates that there are up to 40% fewer actual mental health practitioners on the job than there were just before the start of the pandemic. Eric Doe is the CEO of Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network.
Folks have choices now within your field, within all of the professions out here. There are other jobs that folks can do that would offer them more money, less headache, less work.
The reason is a perfect storm. Michigan changed licensing and certification requirements just before the pandemic slammed into the world. Because of COVID, testing was hard to complete because of facility closures, which means practitioners with years of experience were suddenly shut out of the profession because of the change in certification requirements or an inability to test back into the system.
Those requirements can sometimes be a little more perhaps burdensome to some extent.
And now let's talk about available beds for juvenile services. Dana Lassenby is the CEO of Oakland Community Health Network.
Let me tell you what we have in our region. which includes Livingston, Macomb, Monroe, Oakland, St. Clair, Washtenaw, and Wayne. We have less than 150 beds.
But that doesn't mean those beds are actually available today.
People can be denied admission. For example, if they don't have a female bed, they only have male beds available. On paper, it may work, right? But the reality is, even if a facility has a bed, if they don't have the staffing to support a child, or if the child has behaviors that they're not equipped to manage and support, a child can be denied admission.
Which means if a juvenile needs acute evaluation because their parents or guardians or an interested entity fears they may be a danger to themselves or others, they may not get immediate placement for evaluation. Yeah, you know what? This situation sounds dire, and it is, but it is not impossible. There are county organizations that are out there, public organizations willing to help you. In fact, our web team has put resources on the front page of clickondetroit.com. They will help you find placement. It may take a day or so, and it may not be in your immediate community, but they want you to know that the help is out there, and they are trying to help people who are on that other end of mental health issues, Karen.
A very real problem that really affects all of us. All right, thank you, Paula. Still ahead, here first at 4, a really bad breakup for hundreds of employees. Their story is probably even worse than getting dumped via text message. See what you think. And Haiti hostage drama. There is new developments in the kidnapping of Ohio-based missionaries who are building an orphanage. We have the latest. But first, actor Jussie Smollett on the stand, what he's saying about his relationship with one of the men involved in an alleged hate crime hoax. That story next.